Lesson study is an approach to professional development. It involves small groups of educators working together in a collaborative process. The process is goal-driven and grounded in teachers' regular classroom work. Although developed in Japan, lesson study is consistent with what many American educators think professional development should be. In the lesson study model, teachers go through a process called the lesson study cycle. The first step is setting goals. A lesson study cycle is focused on specific goals for student learning. Teachers commonly begin the process by discussing student learning objectives and areas where they feel those objectives aren't being met. This conversation can be informed by school and district level goals and by analysis of data. Teachers identify a broad long-term goal and then identify specific shorter-term objectives that can be focused on within a single lesson. The second step is planning the lesson. The lesson study team meets over a period of time to collaboratively design a lesson. This is typically referred to as the research lesson. Teachers review research, study curricular materials, and discuss their own teaching experiences. Although the team invests a lot of time in the planning, the goal is not to produce a perfect lesson the first time. It's understood that the lesson will be improved throughout the process. The third step is observing the lesson. A member of the group teaches the research lesson to his or her students. The remaining group members and sometimes additional guests observe. The focus of observation is on the students' responses to the lesson, not the teacher's performance. The fourth step is debriefing and revising the lesson. Those that watch the lesson then meet to talk about what they observed. Conversation focuses on the group's goals and research questions and is grounded in the relevant data gathered by the observers. Student work produced is closely analyzed, and based on this debriefing, the group then revises the lesson plan. At this point, teachers may choose to repeat steps 3 and 4. After the revisions are made, the lesson's often taught by a different group member to another group of students. Again, the team members and invited educators observe, and afterwards the lesson is debriefed, and additional revisions to the lesson plan can be made. The sixth step is reflecting on learning. So the group comes together and thinks about what they've learned about teaching and learning as a result of their close study of this individual lesson. Teachers discuss the implications of this cycle for their future practice. The group also contemplates topics their work suggests for future lesson study cycles. The last step is sharing results. Finally, the group's work is shared with other school staff and maybe larger audiences too. Such sharing can occur at department or faculty meetings, lesson study open houses, or at state conferences. It's important to remember that there's no one right way to do lesson study. It's designed to be a flexible model that can be used across contexts and different purposes. Lesson study can be used at all grades and in any content area. Although groups are commonly made up of teachers who share either grade level or content area, lesson study can be used to facilitate cross-grade or interdisciplinary collaboration. The power of lesson study doesn't lie with a single isolated lesson study cycle. Rather, when a group performs repeated cycles over the course of a year, connections are developed among people, and a culture of professional development is really fostered within the school. Many resources are available to help you learn more about lesson study. Here are some recommended websites, books, and journal articles that can serve as a good starting point for you. To summarize, we can talk about what lesson study is not. It's not a rigid script or specific content for professional development. And it's not meant to produce a repository of these perfect lessons, and it's not intended to be a miracle panacea. What it is intended to be is this flexible process that supports deep and ongoing systematic learning about what's really happening within the classroom. It's meant to activate and support teachers as learners. and it's intended to produce sustainable improvement in the teaching and the learning happening in today's schools.